you. Good morning. Thank you for inviting me to this to give my opinions and my views to this important subject for your conference in relation to bioeconomy. We believe that in most countries we do need a transition to bioeconomy for various reasons. First of all, it will allow us to better use the biological resources in a sustainable manner, but also have to make it clear to everybody that this is not only an issue of high technology that is only accessible to rich and wealthy and developed countries. Biotechnology can be used at all levels, even in a villages somewhere else, throughout China or Africa, and just to clearly explain to them that managing better the biological resources when it comes to medicines, when it's come to food, when it's come to alternative to chemicals, when it's come to agricultural production and so on, is essential for them to find alternatives to the biofuel resources, to the resources that are very much polluting. But for that, they have to understand that it is not just something small, that it requires good understanding, that it requires the right knowledge, but at the same time, and there comes the role of the states and the industry, there could be a need for a certain legislation, but more than legislation, a need for incentives for people to really work on biotechnology in order to find alternative solutions to their heavily polluting current production processes. So we can go through similar production processes to really get to the products we wish, to our lifestyles, through sustainable management of biological resources, by using adequate technologies throughout the production process. And those technologies, as I said, are not just high tech that could discourage the people. Now, biological resources exist everywhere in the world, in any city, in any country. Of course, some countries are more endowed by resources than others, but still, with the minimum you have, you can manage it in a more sustainable manner, in a more efficient manner, so that you can have a better use of your resources and then limit the use of the polluting processes, so that probably you can slowly increase the opportunity of your biological resources, even if your countryside or your village or your city is not very much endowed with natural resources. Now, we have also to be careful when we talk about bioeconomy, or sometimes when we talk about biomimicry, is that it is not a panacea. Of course, it will not be the solution for everything, unless you are in a country where you are so much endowed with natural resources that it's completely unlimited. But if you want to look worldwide, it will be a major contribution to sustainable development, to a proper management from a society, economic, and environmental point of view, but it's not the solution to all. Still, it can contribute it can provide an important contribution to really management of resources, and there are a lot of economic, environment, and social benefits there. What people usually do not understand, including decision makers, is that this is not just an issue of research and laboratory at universities. This is something that can be applied at large scale once you have the right knowledge, once you understand the opportunities you have there, and you can really make what we call the economic case for it. So it's not just a big investment in high technology, even though it would be that, it will be paid back very soon in the future. because you will be saving resources, because you will be having good impact on health, so people will be spending less to medical issues, because people will be living better, because you will have your air pollution, your air that is less polluted. So if you account all this in a systemic approach, the benefits are huge. The problem is that we usually see only one side of it, and we don't put all this in a system. We look only at the biotechnology itself, how to process it, how to use it, how much it will cost, and something like that. But we don't really count on the side effects that are sometimes much more important than the direct effect themselves. And this is essential for bioeconomy. So bioeconomy need really to be put in what we call in a systems approach to understand the things before and after, and contributes properly to a circular economy by using the resources that are at hand and that can be used in a sustainable manner. Now, there is an area where this can be implemented probably more easily than others, or probably I would say this is where it should be implemented, because we are facing drastic problems, either at city level. We will be having in the next 20 years what I will call the industry of the three quarters, in a sense that in about 20 years, the industry, the cities in the world will produce about 3/4 of the income, even more than that, 3/4 of the waste, 3/4 of the CO2 emissions. They will consume 3/4 of the resources and water and so on. So it's an order of magnitude. That's why I call it the industry of the three quarters, but to show that if you want really to go to sustainability through bioeconomy and circular economy, it has to be done at city level. This can be better organized, but of course you need to clearly explain, demonstrate, convince, and enable the decision makers at city level. Would it be the mayors, the manager of the city, or the business sector working in the city? That if we effectively ensure that our production processes are based more on biotechnology, are using more the natural resources in a sustainable manner, by promoting in an efficient manner the use of the resources, we will be saving lot of resources. We'll be saving a lot of money that can be used elsewhere in health, in education, and also in other research to further advance on the biotechnology. The food system in this context is very interesting, and all the agricultural product around it. Today, the world is 50% urbanized, and as I said, in 20 years, it will be 75 to 80%. In Latin America, it will go to 95%. So all this population will need to be fed. They will need to agricultural product. They will need food to be there. So if we ensure that the all related biomass is used in a way that it provide alternative energy, for example, in order to get more dependent on fossil energy, that will give us, it is managed in such a manner that we will waste less food, so that we can effectively feed as much as possible a majority of the population. This will provide us with the driving solution to sustainability. And in this context, bioeconomy, when we look at the amount of chemicals used at the city level, when we look at the amount of agricultural products and the byproduct from agriculture that are surrounding the cities, the opportunity that we are losing there are enormous. So it's important that when we look at bioeconomy, we really look carefully at the word economy, not just the bio. Economy in a sense that we're contributing to development, we're contributing to growth of the economy, and we are making the economic case of our bioeconomy in a sense that it is not just a cost, it's a benefit. Of course, it will have at the beginning a small price, but the benefits from a system approach are huge and are extremely important, and this is something that we need to keep in mind. So, and to conclude from my side, I will say that bioeconomy is a perfect example to live within the limits of the city, of the countryside, of the ecosystem, with the limits of its available resources by processing them in an efficient manner and doing our best to get more with less resources so we can really be on the path of sustainability.